Hey everyone, welcome on in, I'm FunnelMark, and today we'll be checking out the Outriders demo, going over the Trickster class, covering its skills, class trees, and potential endgame builds on full release. But before we get into it, a quick thank you for checking out the video. If you do like the content, consider giving a thumbs up, hitting subscribe, and turn those notifications on for future content. With that out of the way, let's get into it. In this section, we're going to cover the basics of the Trickster. As you can see, it's a close range hit and run class. Its melee skill does deal damage and inflict slow, and its healing mechanic works by giving you heals and a shield for anyone killed in your close range. Its buffs include receiving an additional 5% maximum health, your shield grants you 5% damage mitigation, and every close range kill heals you by 20% of your maximum health and grants you 12% of your shield. Its subclasses are Assassin, Harbinger, and Reaver. More on those later in the video. Next up, we're going to go over the Trickster skills. As you can see in the demo, we do only have access to the first 4 skills. These are unlocked at level 1, level 3, level 4, and level 6. Alongside this, you can only equip 3 skills at any given time. The first skill is Temporal Blade. Using your blade to slice enemies, dealing damage and inflicting slow and interrupt to all those hit. Now we have the Slow Trap. This creates a bubble that inflicts slow on the enemy and projectiles for 10 seconds. Next up is Hunt the Prey. Teleport behind your target, receiving a shield bonus. Now we have Twisted Rounds. Fills your magazine with bullets, dealing extra firepower damage, lasting until you either reload or swap weapons. The skills that we don't have access to is Cyclone Slice. You become a moving whirlwind, dealing damage and interrupting those you come into contact with. Now we have Borrowed Time. This marks your current location and gives you a shield. Activating this skill will teleport you back to your marked spot. Now we have Venator's Knife. This throws a knife at your target, ricocheting and hitting up to 5 targets. All targets receive damage, the slow status effect, and become marked. Marked targets will receive the first damage done by you doubled in a 10-second window. Lastly, we have the Time Rift. This is a shockwave that throws enemies into the air and making them unable to do anything for 3.5 seconds, inflicting them with weakness. Now we're going to have a quick rundown on the class trees. As you can see in the demo, we do only have access to 2 class points. However, on full release, we will have access to all 20 points. The first subpath is Assassin. This focuses on increasing weapon damage, concentrating on close range damage, and buffs when activating your movement skills. Next is Harbinger. This is all about increasing your health, armor, and resistance while providing buffs to your deception skills. Lastly, we have Reaver. This increases your anomaly power, resistance piercing, and buffs to your damage skills. Next up, we'll have builds for each path for the endgame fights. Check out the link in the description for images of these builds to make it easier for you. This first build uses the Assassin path. It does utilize all 20 class points you do receive at max level. This build focuses around increasing your armor piercing, weapon damage, shotgun damage, with minor time buffs from activating your movement skills. Down below you will see the full buffs, increases and decreases you get from running this build. The skills that I would run with this are Hunt the Prey and Borrowed Time. This second build uses the Harbinger path and utilizes all 20 class points you do receive at max level. This build is all about making you tankier with increases to your armor, health, resistance, and shield gain. You also receive minor timed buffs from activating deception skills. Down below will be all the full increases and decreases you get from running this build. The skills that I would use with this are Slow Trap, Venator's Knife, and Time Rift. This final build uses the Reaver path and does utilize all 20 class points you do receive at max level. This build is all about those skills with increases to your anomaly power, resistance piercing, while also decreasing your damage skill cooldown at the same time. You also receive minor time buffs from activating damage skill. Down below are the increases and decreases you get from running this build. The skills that I would use with this are Temporal Blade, Twisted Rounds, and Cyclone Slice. In the description you will find links to all these builds for ease of access. Overall, the Trickster is much like your standard roguelike DPS class. A glass cannon capable of dishing out huge amounts of damage in very small windows. Its trade-off being that it's not a very tanky class. Utilizing your skills and shields are the key to this. With its slow abilities and all-around high damage, I think the Trickster is a must-have for all your party adventures on Enoch. This does bring us to the end of the video. A quick reminder to let me know what you think in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up and turn those notifications on for future content. Take care, and I'll see you next time.